Awesome. Well, we're going to dive in. I know I did kind of a similar training to this a few weeks ago about, your mindset over the market trends. But I really wanted to double down on that, right? We're entering the part of the year where it gets really hard to stay motivated, but it's critically important that you do. It's hard to believe that November 1st is on Saturday. So we've got just about 2 months left of this year. And there's a lot happening, right? We just shared 3 company events we're planning and executing over the next few months. I know you guys all have a ton of stuff going on as well, wrapping up your business for the year. It's the holiday season. It's starting to get dark and cold, and all of those things compound to make motivation really difficult some days. It's nearly impossible to wake up every day motivated to jump out of bed and to work on your business and yourself and your family and your kids and everything else going on. And so I wanted to present this to you this morning about how to use momentum to create motivation. I sent this out in my Monday email yesterday, if you read it. But NAR reported that in the month of August, there was 56,000 real estate transactions that were canceled. That's the highest number of canceled transactions in history, meaning 100,000 agents worked for free in just that month alone. That sucks, right? I'm not here to tell you this market has been easy. We all know that it hasn't. And this is proof, right? 100,000 people worked for free in the month of August. And when something like that happens, it's really easy to give up. NAR also reported in August, they've seen a 7% membership drop in 2022, meaning 100,000 agents have left our industry. That's great news for the rest of us still standing here. Because transactions are going back up, right? Projections per Fannie Mae in the NAR forecast is that we're going to bounce back transactions 12 to 15% next year. And inventory is up too, right? We're up 17% year over year, meaning there's more inventory to be sold, which is why the transactions are going to go up. And this is why the opportunity is so huge for those of us on this call and those of us still willing to bust our butts every single day to sell real estate. Membership's going down, transactions are going up. So this is when the top agents can take their piece of the pie that they deserve. And so if you stay visible and consistent over the next 60 days, while everybody else is disappearing because they're burnt out, they're busy with holidays, they don't care anymore. I really believe you can double your market share before the spring market hits. But to do that, right, you've got to stay motivated. But motivation is one of the biggest things that fails psychologically every single day or week or month. And it's because motivation is emotion-based, right? It's really easy to be motivated when things are exciting. But the minute you hit resistance or you hit a roadblock, that motivation crumbles. And so you can't rely on it to create those long-term success plans that you need to put in place in your business. Compared to motivation, right? Momentum is identity-based. Building momentum in your business is doing those small things every single day that over time, right, reinforce psychologically to yourself that you are a professional agent, that you are worthy of more business, that you are willing to show up every single day. And that's what's happening in your brain, right? Your brain is releasing dopamine, and dopamine is what drives progress. And we don't release dopamine from achieving our goals. We release it consistently over time by making progress towards them. And so that's why doing the small things every single day and getting those small wins matters so much. And this last box here too, I want you guys to really understand, action drives emotion. It's not the other way around, right? There's a lot of times we say to ourselves, oh, I'll make the calls when I feel better, or I'll make the calls when I'm not as stressed out, or I'll do X when I feel Y. And that's why you can't build your business on motivation alone, because you've got to flip that script, right? You've got to take action. And the more action you take, the more small wins you get, your motivation is going to follow. And so I don't want you to chase motivation. I want you to create systems that make motivation irrelevant. Because when those systems are in place, you're going to be motivated. And so quick exercise here, feel free to jump in if you have an answer to this question, or just write it down in your notebook if you're taking notes. But when you feel stuck or unmotivated to do something, What's the one small action that gets you back into motion? Anybody have any ideas or anything that they do?
I
This
count
might
down from 5.
Oh, go ahead.
I do that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
It's kind of stupid, but it works.
Yeah, that's a Mel Robbins principle called the 5-second rule, where if there's something you're dreading doing or putting off or you don't want to do it, say to yourself, start at 5 and count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you say 1, get up and go do that action. I do it more than I care to admit, getting up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. When I just want to lay in bed a little bit longer, I start counting down and then I pop up and next thing you know, I'm at the gym. Anybody else? Somebody else was trying to jump in.
I was gonna say it's kind of cheesy, but like thinking about the why, like why am I doing this? Why am I working at this? And it's because of supporting my family. And so I think, okay, if I don't do this, no one else is gonna do it for me, and then I'm gonna let them down.
I love that, Brittany. I'll throw in never mind. I won't waste you guys with a baseball story, but
Can I be a little bit of Natalie here? I'm kind of open and crass.
yeah.
So I grew up with a handicapped father. He was handicapped from birth, and he was the most motivated person. And he told me nearly every day of my life, and this is kind of crass, guys, so sorry. Excuses are like assholes. We all have one. They all stink. Get up and go to work. You are more than capable. You're more capable than your excuses you give yourself.
I love that.
And I remind myself that like daily, but then I also say, you know what, you do deserve a break, and the break limited can get you motivated, but don't rest too long because you get too comfortable.
Yep. I love both of those points. Sometimes if I find myself stuck or in a mode of procrastination, I'll set a 10-minute timer on my phone. And those of you that have iPhones, you know how jarring the alarm can be when it goes off. But I found that it's really helpful because it snaps me out. And once I hear that loud ringing, I'm like, all right, I made this compromise with myself. I gave myself 10 minutes to continue doing whatever I shouldn't be doing right now. And now I'm going to go execute what I need to. And so use some of these as ideas. And if you feel yourself stuck, make sure you know what works to get yourself out of that mood. We're talking about momentum, right? Not motivation. Momentum, again, is built in those small, consistent habits every single day. And so this is what the top agents are doing. If you came to me and you said, hey, Reagan, I really want to be in the top 10% of agents in our marketplace. What should I do? Here's 5 things you should do. Top agents track their lead activity and they time block to make consistent effort towards it. If you protect 1 hour of your day for uninterrupted lead generation, maybe that's texting people, calling people, social media engagement, you can get to that top 10%, right? The top 10% of agents average 8 to 12 contacts per day, 4 days a week. So if I told you, hey, you want to be in the top 10%, can you give me 4 hours a week? Right? You'd all be silly to say no. But the truth is, the majority of agents in our industry aren't willing to commit this 1 hour of uninterrupted lead generation time every single day. Making 8 to 12 contacts, those are contacts that you're having real estate-based conversations with. Personal outreach over automation, right? You guys know me, I'm a huge believer in automation and letting the systems work more efficiently and effectively for you, but that doesn't mean you need to rely solely on those. Our business is still a personal relationship business. And so send handwritten notes, message people, send people personalized videos, call people when you're thinking about them. Agents who are personally reaching out to 50 contacts a month average 3 to 4 more closings per quarter. So if I said, hey, can you talk to 10 people a week? Yeah, I can probably do that, right? personal outreach. This doesn't even have to be about real estate, but right, we know that everybody in our network knows 6 to 8 people that are going to buy or sell real estate every single year. So if you're talking to 10 people a week in your network and you're going to average 3 or 4 more closings per quarter, again, if I told you you had to do this, you'd be silly not to. Top agents are also really leveraging the equity conversation right now, right? We know equity has skyrocketed since 2019. And a lot of homeowners don't know exactly how much equity they're sitting on. And so this is, right, being the expert providing value to your people. Run updated CMAs for people. There's a lot of people sitting on equity that could use that equity for things other than real estate too. But if you provide that value, right, it's going to help them build that trust and appreciation in your relationship. The fourth point, right, doubling down on visibility. This is really, really important too, right? Top agents who post at least twice weekly with personal, relevant real estate information generate 2 to 3 more inbound opportunities than people that don't, right? So you're posting twice a week. If you can get 2 or 3 leads out of that, right, you're going to close more real estate, but you have to do the work to provide valuable real estate content on social media. And then developing local business partnerships. Right? There's a lot of people in our industry, lenders, title companies, bankers, insurance agents, other small businesses, contractors, plumbers, electricians, right? There's a ton of people that we come into contact with in the course of selling real estate that we don't have strong relationships with, but there's a big opportunity there. Agents that have really strong business-to-business referrals often close 20 to 25% of their business from those relationships. So again, if you don't have any of those built right now, there's a huge opportunity for you to increase your business by 20 to 25% just by creating those relationships. So this is called the mom framework for all the moms in the room. But this is momentum over motivation, right? And this framework has helped agents increase their closed volume by an average of 24% within 90 days. This is, if you start this November 1st and go until the end of January, I firmly believe your business could look a lot different by the end of the year and setting yourself up for an awesome first quarter next year. But this is what the framework looks like, right? You got to start your morning by moving. Do 1 proactive business task before 9:30 a.m. Again, I'm guilty of this too, right? If I'm, working from home or not in the office, I'll get up, I'll drink coffee, I put my laundry away, I, mess around, do whatever, might answer an email, might do this. Next thing I know, it's 11 o'clock, then it's noon, then I'm eating lunch, and all of a sudden the day is a wash. But if you commit to this for the next 90 days, do 1 proactive business thing before 9:30. Maybe that's texting 2 clients, sharing a market update, previewing a listing, running a CMA, right? This will trigger yourself to get motivated, right? To have a productive day. Build into your schedule that opportunity hour that we talked about back here, right? Point number 1. Protect 1 hour daily from distractions. Put your phone on do not disturb, shut your office door, and give yourself that 1 hour of committed time to make 10 calls or send text messages out. Check on your warm leads, invite somebody to coffee or somebody to an event that's coming up. Use every minute of that 60 minutes to be productive in business building and business generating activities. And then at the end of the day, right, end your day by writing down 1 small win. Hey, what's something that was really great that happened today? Or what was 1 success that I had? It's going to reprogram your brain that progress is equal to rewards. And it's going to build this loop that, hey, every single day I'm winning, right? I'm doing things that are productive. I'm generating business. I'm closing more deals. And the more you can do that on repeat, the easier it's going to become. And that motivation is going to self-generate. I've been pounding this into your guys' head for the last 2.5 years, but you have to track what you're doing because you can't improve what you don't track. And so the agents who track their 3 simply daily actions, how many calls did I make? How many people did I connect with? How many posts did I make? They see an average of 24% increased volume within these 90 days. And this is from a Tom Ferry study that he did. Because they know, right? Oh crap, I only made 2 calls today and I didn't connect with anybody. Tomorrow I better go, work my butt off again. And so the more you can track and the more you can improve on, the more business I promise you is going to come back on the end of this. It's not rocket science. You make the calls, you make the connections, you build the relationships, you are going to close more deals. It's just a matter of being consistent and dedicated to yourself and to your business and tracking everything along the way. So let's talk about momentum, right? It's kind of similar to the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing that Beth talked about. But when we talk about the psychology of momentum, I want you to think about the 5-minute rule, right? If there's something you're avoiding doing, sit down and do it for 5 minutes. Start a timer on your phone, right? If you've got a bunch of people you need to email, or if you have a bunch of text messages to return and you're putting it off and you're putting it off, right? So you don't have the motivation to do it. Commit to yourself just 5 minutes. Sit down, start a timer, and start working on it, because research shows that 80% of people keep going past that initial commitment, right? It takes less than 5 minutes for us to flip our brains into motivation, right? To get those things done. Don't wait, right, until you feel like doing something. You've got to start. And so waiting to feel like it is just procrastination disguised as patience. Take the action first, and the emotion and the momentum and the motivation will follow behind it. And this next point is why I think this is so important to your business. The more disciplined you can be with your time, your schedule, your effort, right? It's not restricting your calendar. It's not restricting other things that you want to do. It will provide you the freedom that you need, right? It will protect you from chaos, unpredictability. The more disciplined you can be, the more in control of your business and your life that you will be. I tell people this often. I know agents that are really successful in real estate and they work about 15 hours a week. And I know agents that are really struggling that work 60. But the first agent, right? They're disciplined. They're in control of their time. They're in control of their schedule. And so they can get everything they need done in 15 hours a week, which leaves the rest of their time to their family, to their life, to their hobbies, to anything besides real estate, really. And then we've got the agents working 60 hours a week who are struggling, and life's a mess, right? All they do is work. They don't have time with their friends and family because they're not disciplined. And so the more disciplined you can be, the more free you're going to be from the throes of this business. And the more momentum you can build through that discipline, right? It's going to change your self-identity. You start seeing yourself as the agent that shows up daily, regardless of circumstances and feelings. You are the agent that gets done what you say you're going to get done. You're committed to yourself. You're committed to your business. And in turn, you're committed to everything else that you want in life. And so motivation might be what gets you started, but momentum is what keeps you moving. And discipline is what makes it automatic. If you wake up every single day and know exactly what you need to do to grow your business and move it forward, I promise you life's going to be a lot easier. And so I want to give you guys a momentum streak challenge. When I was writing this out, I was kind of laughing, thinking about the 75 hard that some people have done. But I promise you, I'm not going to make you do this for 75 days. All I want you to do is commit to this for the next 14. No excuses, no exceptions. Commit that 1 hour per day for 14 consecutive days. All I'm asking, right, out of the next 2 weeks is 14 hours. During that hour, track your 3 actions. How many calls did you make? How many connections did you make? How many posts did you put on social media? Write those down, track them in a spreadsheet, put them on a Post-it note on your desk. I don't care how you track it. I just want you to track it. And then as you're moving through these 14 days, share your wins, right? Feel free to post it on the RP All Around Facebook page or share it with your accountability partner. Work really hard to celebrate other people's wins too, right? We might be in somewhat of competition in this business, but we're all in it together. And I'm a firm believer, right, that rising tides raise all ships. And then at the end of this 14 days, or even partway through it, right, celebrate your own consistency. Take some time to reflect in how you feel, right? How it feels when you like crush another day because you committed to yourself that you were going to do this challenge. If you focus on showing up and not on closings, closings are going to come, right? Closings come because of consistency. And so who wants to do the 14-day challenge with me? We can start it tomorrow.
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
All
Can there
right.
be a prize?
Sure.
I loved those when you talk about like taking an hour. Several years ago, we did those sand timers. It was like a 1 hour, do not disturb. I feel like anybody that signs up for this and does it, I should get them those time sand things.
We still
Sand
have
time.
a few of them around the stock office. I had one at my desk.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but we had these sand hourglasses. It's exactly 1 hour. And we all knew, right? If you looked in somebody's office and their hourglass was up, do not disturb. Which was helpful too if there was people around that you didn't want to talk to. Just kidding.
Nope.
But yeah, I really want you guys to think about doing this challenge and give yourself the next 2 weeks, because again, yes, it might be only 14 days in this challenge, but I promise you, once you get in this habit of doing this, right, the momentum's going to build and it's going to become second nature for you to say, oh, I got to get my one opportunity hour in every single day. And that's going to build your business. You're going to make more connections, make more relationships, get more leads, and close more deals. And so I want to leave you with this, right? We talked about at the beginning how 56,000 transactions were canceled in August. I really think that was about the bottom of this housing restriction that we've been in the last few years that's made the market pretty difficult. And so I believe that we're on the rebound. And what's great and what the opportunity is for us here is the market is weeding people out. It's not holding you back, right? There's a lot of people that worked for free a lot of times this year that are burnt out, quit the industry, went and got a different job. And so this is a filtering moment. I know that this year has been incredibly difficult for a lot of people, but the ones that are going to persevere through this are going to be stronger and more profitable next year. And I'm freaking excited about that, right? It's getting rid of all the agents that never should have been in this business anyways, because they don't have what it takes to make it through these tough times. And so your consistency today, right, is going to be your competitive advantage tomorrow. A lot of people are going to throw the towel in, take the next few months out, start working hard again in about January or February. But if you commit to yourself to doing the things you need to over the next 2 months, right, while everybody else is restarting their business from zero, your momentum's already going to be on the upswing. You're going to have the market presence, you're going to have the contacts, and your pipeline's going to be full. And so don't wait for the market to get better. I want you to be the reason that it does, right? You guys are in full control of how you want to show up, the work you want to put in, and the amount of business that you want for yourselves. Like Brittany said, nobody else is going to do it for you. And so I think we're at this really opportune time where everybody else is sick of real estate and sick of the market, which means as transactions go up, the piece of the pie that you can get is so much bigger. And it's out there for the taking. That's what I've got for you today.
Can I make one comment? This
Yeah.
market is nothing like 2008, but that's exactly what happened then. If you could survive the downturn, you came out stronger. So many agents jumped out because they didn't know how to work, how to navigate the challenges, and hanging in there in those few years is honestly what I think made me successful. And I still try hard, but you learn through challenges, and agents get weeded out. So hang in there.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys. Have a great Tuesday and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Reagan.
Thanks, Reagan.